going abroad for your MBA program, it's a very important step of your life. And the right planning will not only land you in a great college, but also it can help you to get a great scholarship, which I think is very essential for your post MBA life in a different country. So there are a lot of questions around these deadlines, checklist, how to plan, when to start, which region, which country to target. There are a lot of questions around this. So I'm going to talk about all these questions. I'm going to address all your answers in this specific video. So hi everyone, my name is Rohit Jha and I have a corporate experience of around 13 years across the globe. Post that, I've started my own career consulting firm and helped hundreds of students to get through a variety of programs across the globe, including MBA, Masters, MIMs, and many more. And in this video, and I would say through these videos on my channel, I share all my opinions and experiences with you so that you can get better insights while applying to different business schools and different other programs. So let's talk about this video. Let's talk about the first important component is the intake, or I would say the deadlines. Both are interrelated. So across the globe, if you start your global MBA journey, primarily if you see the top 100 programs, they will have only one intake, which is your fall, which is July-August intake, right? Now there are a lot of good schools around the globe like INSEAD, HEC and many more. They have multiple intakes as well. So some schools will have a January intake as well as the fall intake. Now, why I'm telling you these deadlines, because all these schools, they start the process very early. And when I say very early, it's almost 10 to 12 months before the intake date. So for example, if you're targeting fall 24, now is the time. Most of the schools will open the window for their applications. So this is about the deadlines. So now you got the idea when to start for your fall intake, right? So for fall intake, this is the time to start applying. Now, typically all these admissions will happen in multiple rounds. So there will be 3 rounds in most of the schools, and in some parts of UK and Europe, there will be more rounds, typically, 5, 6, 7 rounds as well, but it's always good to apply in the early rounds. So typically round 1 in US and Canada and North America, it will start from July right now. It will go up to September, October, followed by round 2 from October to December or mid-January, and then there will be the last round, typically from Jan to April. That is the most difficult round, I would say. So this is the typical round, deadlines for most of the schools in North America as well as in UK, Europe and APAC. So just focus, if you are targeting fall 24 intake, this is the time to start. So this is about the deadlines. Now, the next most important thing, let's talk about the planning, when to start, when to write GMAT or GRE or any other exam if you're writing English language exams, if it is required by some schools. So what is the time? Now, according to me, it should be as soon as possible. Now, if you already have a GMAT score, definitely you should start your application quickly because it's going to take some time. And my third point, the checklist, which is very much related to that, and you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Now, if you are in June, I think that's the best time. You should take your GMAT or GRE so that you will have a buffer time also for a reattempt, because you may or may not get your desired score in first attempt. So if you take your first attempt in June, you will have some time in July and August to complete your second attempt as well as do your applications parallelly, so that you should not miss out on round 1 deadlines. So this is typically the right time, I would say, is to plan and to apply this month only. Because there are schools which will offer you GMAT or GRE waivers as well if you haven't written. So again, that is a separate process. I've made another video on that. You can go through that video, and that itself takes around 3 to 4 weeks for the schools to assess your waiver request. So that's why even if you're applying with a waiver, apply right now, right? So that's about the planning stage. Now, the last stage and the most important one is the checklist. Now you all must have read on internet, heard from many consultants, it's a tedious process, it's a very personalized process, it's going to take some time to complete your application, and that is true also. Now, I will tell you the checklist which you should just focus before applying, so that you should know that how much time I need to give to each component. Now, the first component of the global MBA applications is your resume. So most of the schools across the globe, they prefer a 1-page standard resume focusing on your accomplishments, your extracurriculars, leadership capabilities, educational background, certifications, and many more. So that's about your resume. A resume is a very important document for both if you are going with GMAT or without GMAT. Now the next step, which is going to take the most of your time, is the essays. Now almost all the schools will have on an average 2 to 4 essays, and across the globe it differs from school to school. But let's say if you're applying to 5 to 8 schools, you will have to work on at least 20 essays. There might be some overlaps, there might be some repetitive questions, but still, at least 15 to 17 essays you have to work on. Now that is going to take at least 2 months, according to me, if you really want to sit down, think about it, and craft the best essay. So I think 2 months is a fairly good time to work on those essays. So that's typically the checklist number 2. Now the third part is your letter of recommendation. Now definitely you need to speak to your recommenders, give them some time in hand, at least a month I will say. You need to discuss with them, you need to tell them the process, how it functions. So all these things will take some time, and parallelly you need to do this. Now other than this, there will be some scholarship essays here and there in some of the schools. That will be part of the essays only. Now apart from essays, recommendation, resume, there might be small video assessments in some schools. So some schools might ask you to record some videos on their platform. Some of them they may ask you to do it from your phone. And there is another assessment which is called Kira. That's a third party assessment by many schools. So many schools will ask you to do that as well. So that is also an important part of the application component. You just need to be prepared for that as well. Now these things, when you submit it, then after that the school will take approximately 3 to 4 weeks, and then they will shortlist you for the interview, and then of course after that you can prepare for the interview. So this is typically the checklist for your whole global MBA application process. Across the globe it is same, but it may differ in 1 or 2 components, in 1 or 2 essay questions here and there, depending on the region, but typically this is the process. So this is all about this specific video, and I hope I've cleared all your doubts regarding applying in multiple rounds, deadlines, intake, as well as the checklist. So in the end, I will just say that whenever you are ready, apply as soon as possible. Do not wait for discussions, talking to hundreds of consultants. If you are sure you work with anyone or you want to work on your own, just start doing it. That is the best strategy, because don't wait if you have a score. If you do not have a score, definitely wait for the right score. There is no thumb rule of applying in round 1 or round 2. You can go in either rounds, but if you have a good profile with a good score, then only go ahead and apply. But apply as soon as possible if you are ready. So that's it from my side for this specific video. In case of any questions, any concerns, put it in the comments box. I would be happy to help you. I would be happy to answer all your questions. So that's it. In the meantime, take care. Goodbye.